like I'm saying, there's a reason to influence oil because of the election, but like I'm saying, the bigger point is whatever happens to that price of oil and gas, that's probably going to have way more implications on the economy and recession. So, yeah, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. There's beef in Venezuela and Guyana about oil. Very, very good oil, good in comparison to Saudi oil. Troops are being sent to the border as we speak. That's been going on for a little bit, but I think it's gonna be one of those factors. So I think it's 50-50. Again, there's an incentive to try to keep oil lower here, but things like that, even the Red Sea, even that attack with Iran yesterday at that funeral. I mean, there's a lot of crazy things that could happen there. Mm-mm-mm. So welcome. But yeah, oil came up. I flipped out of my play. You would have got an extra $300, but I took like just under $2,000 on the play from yesterday. But in general, I do think oil's cheap right now. But again, goes to the tinfoil. We are pumping like crazy right now. You know, Americans and non-OPEC countries are pumping so much oil ahead of even the demand and everything. I think it's getting ready for it all, but we would need like another war escalation for things to really, really pop off. Mm. Kiki Gaming, baby. Subscribe with Prime. Welcome. Good morning, too. It's very early. We've only been here for what, an hour and 15 minutes. Data came out, had a little fake pop. Data was slightly good, but then we sold off even more. You're just kind of, I guess you're getting a little bit further away. Are we at 4,700? Yeah, you're at 4,705. So honestly, things could get crazy. Morgan Stanley Gorman, China has some profound challenges on demographics. And they said never understood Bitcoin, or Gorman says never understood Bitcoin as form of store value. Bitcoin not going away, but not a core investment. Mm-mm-mm. Why are we pumping if price is cheap? Why don't we just buy oil? I think they're getting it prepared in many, many ways so that they could have it again. Because if you pump it, we have a lot of ability to pump oil. Don't ever forget that. America, do you realize like we could pump oil like the best of them, like the Arabs, like the Russians. We got it like that, but at the same time, I don't think they only want to buy so much. And think about it, where oil's cheap, you could only buy it from so many places right now. Mm-mm. The Fed minutes, they didn't move the market at all last time. Last time the Fed minutes were borderline a dud. So again, even now, I'm not expecting too much, but granted, the dot plot shift last time that might get the minutes pumping here, but everyone's just going to look for evidence of rate cuts today, and that'll probably be the main factor. Mm. Yeah, minutes already know nothing new. But hopefully it gives us insight. Remember, the last time we got the dot plot, it was huge. And the real main factor, this is why the minutes could be interesting, is because think about what happened on the dot plot. It was a huge spread between every voter. It wasn't like we got this low median because everybody was on the same page. There was a lot of dots that moved, but then every dot, like the distance between them was very high. The Kev Dog is here, baby. Oh man, Kev Dog, how you living, baby? He here, man. Kev Dog in the house, baby. That's crazy. I'm getting to it. I need to go to the bathroom now. You got me excited, bro. That's what the little puppy do, bro. The puppy, every time I see him, he pees. He does excitement pisses, and now I'm about to do that because Kev Dog is here, man. So I don't know. All right, I'll be right back, man. Follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. It may be your last chance to follow me on Instagram. You so follow me on Instagram now, man. I will BRB, baby. BRB.
Dissent and turmoil. My whole life they've been that from when I went to university in Australia in the 1970s. So that doesn't bother me. But it's important that people are able to have dialogue and discussion on campus without intimidation and expressing their rights for free speech.
What is the next big ambition for James Gorman?
You mean today, or no? Internally at Morgan Stanley is to help TED and to help with our clients around the world. I have a very large client network that I've built up over a long career, and I think I can help our bankers and others in that regard. For me personally, it's to live in a little bit of a world of unknown. For my whole life, I've kind of known what the next steps are. As you mentioned, I've joined one public company, will be joining one public company board, Disney. I'll be getting more involved at Columbia University the months ahead, and then I'll take it from there. So I want balance in my life. I've loved being CEO. It's a phenomenal company. I'm so proud of my colleagues here, the job that they've done. This isn't a one-person show. It's thousands of people who are really talented doing the right thing. And ultimately, it's the values of the organization, which is what drives it. So that's what I'm most proud of. And for me personally, we'll find out.
Well, James, thank you for your time,
Sure.
your first interview in your new role. That's James Gorman, Executive Chairman now of Morgan Stanley for Bloomberg Television and Radio. Back to you.
Sonali, fantastic. Great stuff. Fantastic interview. So much coming out of that conversation with James Gorman, Morgan Stanley Executive Chair, as Sonali says. Sonali, as ever, awesome. Katie, let's talk about what he said. I want to take any class that he would teach. That would be phenomenal. Here is a guy, as he said, and I know he said he was being immodest, not being immodest, but he talks about the fact that we got most of the big stuff right, and he certainly has. He's embraced so much. He's changed so much at that bank. He's done a phenomenal job. What a world to be in.
What a world to be in. Did we hit 4,500 or 47? No, 4704, bro. We're doing the air. Remember, 4706, 4707 is kind of like an air brake level that we've seen at times. So, again, literally 4705 to 4707. You see these little wicks here. But, again, we're right at the level now, and then we're going to see. So, bathroom break brought you down a little bit. Not too much. Not too much. Yeah, Tesla is down like 3.5 right now or 4. I don't know if it bounced. Yeah, 3.8. And then Regen. So, watch out. Watch out if these biotechs start waking up again. Remember, yesterday, XLV and then healthcare providers, they all did good. Again, Abivai was running earlier, so they're still holding up. No problem. Seatbelts on. We got some turbulence. You'll be good. No floods. It's very slow. Again, we still have how many hours till the Fed minutes? We're going to have, 3 hours? 2 hours. Yeah, 3 hours and 15 minutes until the Fed minutes. So we'll see. I don't know about rotation in the defensives as much. It seems like we're kind of just getting a little bit of turbulence after again. Remember, we're still on 9 weeks green. So if this week somehow goes green as a result of the minutes and the non-farms, this will be 10 weeks in a row. So you got to keep that in mind there. So it's like we're still in this weird state of if we go red, we're just giving back a lot of the extraordinary gains that we have witnessed. That's kind of the awkward part about this. Again, I was even talking to Lending Tips about this because we were just talking about rates and we were talking about bonds and how Lending Tips is noticing that people are buying houses now and people are feeling good because they like 5, 6, 7% interest, believe it or not. Anything above that, everybody started to just lock up. But and I said the ironic part about it all is go look at the 10-year bond. It's the bonds, they're at the same place they were at a couple of months ago, but a couple of months ago we felt really weird about it just because there was upside to it. So this is the irony of all. Look at this, 3.94%. You were here in July. You were here in the beginning of July, the end of July, and then you were here around March as well. Even kind of towards the end of last year, rates, we were a quarter point higher. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's the same thing where it's even if we move down with the markets here, I think a lot of stuff, just don't forget the cushion, don't forget the fear, and then don't forget the cushion from the rally. That's definitely what I think we're experiencing in a lot of asset classes, more or less. Dollar gassing, that's not really the best in a weird way, but as long as the bonds could catch a bid. Again, today is one of the last 2 days has been one of the worst in 10 years in terms of dollar dying, dollar going up, and then bonds getting clapped too. Actually, dollar, wait a minute, dollar should be down. No, up. Yeah, 2 days in a row of this. So again, you guys remember this was the whole Fed thing, but then there was also the weird UUP is not the best one to look at. You might have to look at the DXY. I bought a house and move in June. I have all my down payment in the stock market. Should I sell it off to secure that I have enough for my down payment? Well, why are you moving in June? So why do you have a 6-month escrow? Or what's up with that? So like that's the only thing. So usually I sell when I'm in escrow. So right when I enter escrow and then they need the money, that's when once I know there is no chance of falling out of escrow, then that's it. It's BU. What do you mean it's BU? But it's being built right now. So are you in escrow? When's the escrow period going to start? So right now, if you put down the payment, you probably put down money to secure it. But at the same time, is escrow started? That one's going to be a little trickier. But if you do want to be more safer about it, and especially if you got good gains in your long term right now, I wouldn't be opposed to selling now. But ideally, what I do personally is I wait till escrow. So if you remember, with that house I did with the Bitcoin, I didn't sell the Bitcoin until I had escrow. If I sold it earlier, I would have got $200,000 more, but I didn't have everything locked down. I don't like to move money until I know that there's kind of a locked-in period how things are going to move. So we will see, but at the end of the day, if you got good gains, you might be able to take advantage of that now. Yeah, you could put it in bill and not risk it and get 5% yield. Honestly, you'll get back, 3% if you lock it in now. Maybe put it into a bond and call it a day. But like I'm saying, though, last thing you want to happen is you think you're going to do something, and then it's not locked in, and then you go and sell out all this money, and then whatever happens, maybe it works in your favor, maybe it doesn't. But then now you're going to not have stock, and you're not going to have a house. So just make sure that you find a way to lock it in. Talk with your lender. You might be able to talk with the lender and secure everything now, and that's something that you could go about where, hey, this is the process to all of it. And then have you looked into do they have any houses available now? If that's the case, or unless you need to move in 6 months, but it depends. It all depends. That was almost my case. Yeah, you got to be always right when escrow starts. Escrow is my time to sell. As far as like moving money from stocks to real estate, that's what I do personally. And again, I tried to give you an example a couple years ago with it because then you guys saw the stocks that I was holding or the Bitcoin, so you saw what I did with it. But for the most part, you could play it safe too. If again, stocks right now are giving you good money, so if you sell out now to play it safe, I couldn't get too mad about that. Assuming you got profits to walk away with, and then you're good to go. Somehow we are still in extreme green. Well, that's what I was talking about here with even the bonds. It's just we're still holding this little level of just like, remember, we've came off of, we're still 9 weeks. So again, unless we get back to 475, this will probably be our first red week in 2 months. Riot, Mara, Bitcoin all going up. United Steel too. I feel like we haven't talked about the buyout since remember Japan, but a lot of people said they wanted to try to prevent it. Bitcoin pop, but you can't stop. I know you like this Bitcoin pop. This must be now why y'all trying to classify the type of securities. We're just trying to make an ETF, and we do the same thing. Okay. Do you need a permit to renovate small office spaces into apartments? Like if you want to like market it and rent it, unless you want to like rent it out like off the books, and then you'll get a code violation if you're Elon Musk. But more likely than not, yes, you have to. It's a different type of zoning. So like, commercial properties, real estate, versus ones you live in, they have different types of, things associated, from like parking to showering and where people could sleep, and fire codes. There's a lot of things that need to be changed on there. That's why people don't let you sleep in an office. SEC is holding meetings today with the exchanges NASDAQ, CBOE, and NYSE to finalize comments on 19B4S submitted by the Bitcoin spot ETF issuers. So that's why you're having the Bitcoin pop. Good post on that. You're moving out of your townhouse and renting it out, then moving in with my parents for 4 months while the house gets finished, selling stock to keep the townhouse. Oh, that's not bad. At least you'll have some asset in there. It's not too bad. But why did you wait? Like, why did you rent it now? Like, that's it. There's just a big gap. That's it. There's just 6 months. You know, you could have done it a little bit to be more flexible with what it is. But if you're going to be, this is your second property, I mean, I wouldn't be too opposed to selling too early if you want to secure it. Or maybe you could take some risk on there. It just all depends. New York landlord has entered the chat. I give you $20 credit. You leave OK code, man. Very nice. Very good. Okay. Google on the high. Coinbase popping. So, again, all the crypto names made a big move. Remember, Coinbase was down like, what, another 5% in the morning? They're still down 2.3. Where's Tessie? Mara's all going up there. Again, Mara's now in the green. Where's MSTR? MSTR's down 6. Come on, Bitcoin, man. Let's see. Of Niagara Falls rental. I don't know much of the area, but I'm assuming a lot of tourist demand. I could kind of get behind that. $40.80. These very expensive. I don't know. Mara getting dumped. Mara was getting bid up. Coinbase was getting the most dumped, but Mara is actually right at the high right now. And then Google is ripping right there. That's on the high. That POL has been a random runner from the last couple of weeks. And then oil's coming down. Oil hit almost 73. And then ES is still holding down. Pfizer's coming down, but still green a little bit on the day. Google's running. And then SPY a little bit off the bottom. We'll see if this gets any steam. Netty's doing pretty good. It seems all the China names, they woke up a little bit weaker here today. Again, China had a bad day in Asia markets, but now they're all kind of coming up there. I think Baba, Baidu. Baidu's near the high. Again, Pinduoduo. JD kind of chilled. Happy New Year. Do you have any thought on the Pelosi ETF, Nance? I haven't looked at that. I remember they made that, but I feel like she's been kind of quiet since all of that happened. I feel like you haven't had a big Pelosi trade in a while. Didn't she buy NVIDIA not too long ago? I like thoughts on MO. I like MO for the long term. I would have bought, if it didn't shoot up 2%, I would have bought them instead of Alibaba. So literally, like yesterday, I would have bought MO if it didn't have this monster rocket. That would have been my first choice, them or Pfizer. But then again, so I went with the one that kind of was lower, and then hopefully it could just get, that was a little pullback, and then it goes there. But I do like what Baba adds for our portfolio now. We now have some overseas exposure, which we never had. SPY Daily 470. It's hammer time. Is that the technical one? The technical hammer, or like a Home Depot? You're getting a little bit. You're right back up to this first little. I think that was the bathroom break flush. And then we have, 30 minutes till Euro close? I added Baba today. Yes, I added it at like 74.50 or 74.60. I thought I was way lower, though. But this thing kind of moves a lot. But yeah, I put 2 deposits towards it. So like 85 shares on the big account, 8 shares on the small account. Regen still going up. Ukraine Defense Ministry, or Russian Defense Ministry, says Ukraine returns 248 Russian prisoners of war after complex negotiation. Oh, wow. That sounds positive, no? I feel like we haven't heard any of that. Literally, Russia and Ukraine have prisoner swap agreement. And then gold came back down to 2040. So literally like right above that first low of the day. Yeah, SPY's rocketing here from the bottom. At least the futures, bonds catching a bid. Russia says UAE mediated in prisoner return. Very positive, right? I don't know. I don't know if I feel like I haven't heard a headline like that, but that sounds like positive news. AMD to 90. Everybody is underweight international stocks on a global weighting basis because there's a lot of risk. It makes sense, but like again, I'm going for some value here and I like it, but that is the theme until it's not. So if we really do get a soft landing, I think international will be great as long as the dollar doesn't rocket up. But then also too, it's like even if there's a recession, I do think China will be when we start doing bad, China will start doing good. So I think there's kind of a good two ways on that one. But we'll find out. But I don't think I'll add more than that. Put 2 deposits unless it gets like really cheap. And then that yield, again, it's a weird yield. It's like 1.1% or something. I got a lot of names yielding. See, at 1.3. I think it was at 1.8 when we got it. But again, because it just moves up pretty quickly. NVIDIA, Nancy Pelosi bought 1.8 million worth of calls expiring December 24 at 120. Can you explain why she goes so low? Her strike price, she only bought 40 shares. No, she got more. I mean, she probably bought more than that, but she likes it in the money. So it's just like a cheaper way to buy the stock. You save a little bit, since I'm sure she paid some in the money premium, and I think she was rolling over some plays. No. BGNE for bio. I'm in IBB. That play's still up there too. But bios after yesterday, that showing they showed yesterday, if they could keep going up, that one's definitely interesting. We'll see how it plays out. And then MSTR is still running. I had some contracts I was looking at, but I still think they're a little too expensive. So again, crypto, remember there's just some news about who SEC meeting with people or whatever. Palantir to 10. I feel like I haven't heard about Palantir. Again, all the AI stocks are kind of down earlier in the day. Yeah, Palantir kind of chilled out from November. Because again, if you were like leading during some of that rally, even think of like the Ozempic stocks, they kind of calmed down, and then we had that small cap rotation for the names that were down. You flipping your CL? I already got out of it early in the morning. Not early, but like at the first pop after the data. So I took like just under $2,000. I said it could go to 73 today, but I didn't want to push it. I liked it. $2,000 gain, 1,900. I said just give me it. You had a vivid dream of your teeth falling out. What could that mean? Oh, I don't know. I've heard the interpretation. I think it's good luck. I don't know. Somebody said that. You could Google it. I had what's it called, bro? I had a dream yesterday that I saved a baby. It was the weirdest thing ever. That's it, man. It was the craziest dream I've ever had. Because I felt like a superhero. There was like a baby on like a golf cart, and like they were like driving with the baby, and then I was like, yo, and then I ran, and I got the baby, and I saved it, and I gave the baby back to their mom, and I felt good about myself. It was actually the baby, not a baby. It was the baby. And he was like, "So good the peck, I'm gone." What's that one song? What's that one the baby song? That's it. Am I expecting? No, I'm not. Yeah, I saved the baby, the rapper. Y'all must have misheard me. No, no, it was like a baby. It was a baby, not the baby, but a baby. Remember the baby? Pack in the mail. It's gone. I need to listen to that. So I love that. Was that 2018? It was a good song, man. When it came out, it was good. Pack in the mail. It's gone. I don't even like. I can't even like recall the whole song right now, which is weird. The minutes are at 2 p.m. Eastern. I remember the name. Yeah, Suge. She's like how I smell cologne. Dude, I'm not. I'm so blanking on this right now. It'll come back to me. It'll come back to me. Well, Chad loves you, man. Good morning. Good morning. Cox Automotive expects 2024 to be best year for U.S. car buyers since pandemic. Like I smell cologne. I just signed a deal. Nah, dude, I'm reading it like I don't know the song at all. Baba's on the high. Let's go. ABVC on the high as well. Again, crypto, that's been the latest move. And oil's up. Well, like I said, I got out of oil. Oil's already up 3.4. I sold out like 0.5% lower. But not bad, yeah. Oil was great. Oil was great. CNBC talking about recession signals. I think oil, man. Oil above all else, but then we'll see what happens with the cycle. Does it end? Sava is supposed to issue warrants today. Oh, Sava. I haven't heard them in a while. Healthcare Service Corp is in exclusive talks with Cigna for Medicare deal, sources say. Oh, HCSG. Yo, HCSG, that's popping. Oof, another. I got clapped on the last Cigna play. Or again, Cigna UNH, but it depends what kind of deal we're talking. HCSG. Healthcare and is in exclusive talks with Cigna for Medicare deal. It's a Wall Street Journal. Yeah, right here. Cigna. This is a Wall Street Journal exclusive. So if this one's, or again, we've seen these ones go crazy before. To sell Medicare business for $3 to $4 billion. So healthcare group is going to buy it, and then Cigna's selling it. So again, I think Cigna might benefit off of that. I think we have that one a little earlier, Chad. Yeah, that one came across there. What is it? H. Tell them. Hit the like button. You got clapped 10K the week you were gone. You got it all back the day you came back. Nice. Be careful, though. Be careful on any holidays we experience. I'm definitely, like short weeks and certain things. You want to be calm. But I'm glad. That's it. Every end of the year, I'm chilling from now on. You have no idea. It was so relaxing. And the fact is, it's just like the market did nothing. And I definitely could see like low volume sitting here. It'll hurt you. So I'm glad you got it back, and just keep that as a learning lesson for end of next year. You don't want to force it, or maybe even think around like Thanksgiving when we start getting back into that stuff. You may watch it play out a little bit different. If Cigna is selling, why are they heading lower? I don't know. Honestly, usually they would be the benefactor of all of it, but if they're selling it for like $3 to $4 billion, well, we'll give it some time. Chill between Christmas and New Year's is the way. It really is, man. It was beautiful. Because like I said, man, I mean, I got to sell out of stuff. I was holding plays, and like they would just go up and you made your move. But at the end of the day, the market did absolutely nothing. And I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I got trapped in this week and these 2 weeks doing this and that. But it's just like, you take it easy during holidays. I think, don't force it too much, especially when you're fighting the computer. Yeah, Cigna's all over the place right now. And then Baidu's hitting a high. I don't know if Baba is. Yeah, Baba is as well. And then HCSG, that's the one related to the news right now. Long Apple 2-2 expiry. I did nothing during the last week. Yeah, I mean, if you were like writing stuff before, you could have just trimmed some stuff, wrote it out. But then it was just like, again, a lot of people told me they got into trouble when there was just nothing to do there. The volume was lower. And then, like, again, I remember just waking up and looking at the market, and I'd wake up later and I'd be like, man, it did absolutely nothing. So there's a lot of opportunities to get trapped when the market is slower and then you're going into the end of the month like that. And then oil had a nice little drop there, but then it's kind of popping up. Banks, I think, getting ready for earnings. Again, they were one of the leaders yesterday, but not so much today. But I think they're kind of moving with everyone else. KRE down a little bit more than usual. But for the most part, I think they're just flowing with the natural market today. And then again, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, a couple of other regionals are going to all be next week. Bank earnings will start the sell-off. I think for banks, if they're bad, but I don't know about the whole entire market. It just depends. I think it'll be very big for the industry, and then we're going to get some more feedback and insight into what the new rate cut expectations mean for the banks and how they're holding up. But then we're going to also see, inflows on the year, deposits, how that's expecting, not to mention their yearly guidance. But I think industry-wise, it'll be huge. Citi, 52-week high. We sold out of that one the other day. And then we're chilling right below VWAP. Again, we never hit 40. We never hit 4,700, and then you're still right below level number one here, 47.18. The low of the day, 47.04. Nasdaq down 0.75. Russell recapped a little bit, but Nasdaq came up a little bit more, and then SPY down 0.6, Dow down 0.6. Let me give you an update. Let's see what the movers are. We got 17 minutes till Euro close, and Nasdaq 100. You have 75 names in the red, 26 names in the green. Dow Jones, 19 names red, 11 in the green. And then S&P 500, Palo Alto's on the high. Interesting. S&P 500, 388 red, 114 in the green. So futures starting to catch a little bit of a bid. And the bonds, too. Bonds are coming back to this earlier level. Remember, bonds ran up before anything on the data. I'll be shorting the banks this season. I think the ones that have ran up a lot, it may not be that bad of a trade. So, again, it's kind of like the Walgreens logic, where there's so many names out here that have ran up a lot in the last month or two. So, if they have earnings, even just from sheer risk to reward, the downside just might be cheaper. Like, I think JP Morgan puts will probably be a lot more cheap. Like, look at this. This is just straight vertical. So, again, I wouldn't really be too against that idea, if that makes any sense. So it's not really, it's one thing about what's going to happen, but even from a pure risk to reward stance, I mean, it seems like they're in their own little level here. Maybe 182. Yeah. Okay, I did it. I just calculated it all. It's actually not bad. With this, I'm shooting way too early, but I kind of like the idea. I went both ways on JP Morgan. I'll go over, it's 2 standard deviations. They're cheap as hell. I'll go over that one in a second. It's next week, yeah. But that's why I guess we're almost there. We're getting close to it. But you could buy it like the day before. That's what we did on a lot. Remember, FedEx, we bought it the day before. Nike, we were like 3 days early. And those are hits. Those are great hits. But then again, those also had the 2 standard deviation thing. I'm using the ghetto standard deviation. So it's a strategy I have. I mean, it uses basic concepts of math, but it's not really. I'm not calculating this to the decimal and doing it. Just pretty much I take what's priced in for earnings and I double it up. And if the contracts are at a certain level and not too expensive, I go for them. So not a recommendation. You will lose money. I grabbed January 19th. So why did I grab January 19th? Because again, on all of these, I've been telling you, man, just get an extra week. So if the earnings is next week, just like we did on the FedEx and the Nike ones, I went 1 extra week, and then again, go calculate what's priced in again, and use the 170s minus $1, double it up, and then you'll find the puts and calls. I bought 2 puts and I bought 2 calls. So we'll go over them on the watch list, we'll go over them on the watch list. Not a recommendation. You will lose money. I spent about, I think, $160 to play both ways. So it's not too bad. It's around the same amount of money we've put on the other ones. I didn't really hedge it. I'm just playing both sides. I don't know what's going to happen, but in this case, 2 standard deviations both ways are relatively cheap. So I have a call and I got to put. I can make the money both ways. Oh, wait. I could buy the hard check. Go away. That's what Uncle would say, but yeah. Walgreens, I don't know if I haven't checked out Walgreens yet, but Walgreens might be a little wicked. But JP Morgan can move though. You see what I'm saying? We've just played both ways for $160, and this stock is $170. You know what I'm saying? Like dollar for dollar, I think this could get you way better moves on a cheaper option play than like a $25 stock like Walgreens. But I think the downside on Walgreens might be good. And their earnings is this week, right? Let's see. Be like $4 priced in. That would be double the expectations. They're pretty cheap on the downside, and then to the upside, kind of more. But again, I think you're spending way more for something that's just smaller. And then all the puts jacked up today. I don't know. I might skip Walgreens. We have it for the long term. I get paid for sleeping, dreaming. The anticipated move's $2. I doubled it up. $4 would be the expectation, or double 2 standard deviations. Ghetto. But then again, like I'm saying, I just bought JP Morgan contracts for the same price. And then what it represents is way more. So sometimes these smaller plays you're kind of paying just more for what it is, more or less. Earnings is, so Walgreens is tomorrow. JP Morgan is the 12th, and then we got 1 week after. So I was even looking Walgreens next week contracts, but I don't know. I think I'm going to skip that one. Oh, January 4th is that? Yeah, that's tomorrow. So today, last day to buy it if you want the divvy. But again, they're hitting 52-week highs. They might have a little sell-off, though, ahead of earnings after ex-divvy. No, JP Morgan is near all-time highs. And then your boy Jamie about to sell. So I think they kind of clipped it yesterday after hours, but 172.50. This will set JP Morgan to literally all-time highs. Okay, IRM divvy. Yalla. Jamie like bang bang. Tomorrow's my B-day, Max. Let's go, baby. Happy birthday. A New Year's baby. A new year. And so you start everything fresh on the new year. Like, it's my birthday. It's a new year. It's another year for the long term. Amen. Why are they doing so well? Because they literally ate up everything, got ultimate deals from the government. None of their sales and trading stuff went down, and then interest rates are at 5.5%, and they scammed everybody. So we own it for the long term. We're up like almost 40% on it, but I'm a big fan of JP Morgan. Not what they do to the society, but they are the best bank in the world, quite simply. Only way to put it. Just on all fronts. Like, they're the LeBron James. Maybe, they're LeBron James if LeBron James, shot behind the three-point line, if that makes sense. But, yeah, they did good. I hate Jimmy. Remember, they got hooked up. They got to buy people's assets for pennies on the dollar. They killed it, man. They killed it. It's like Kobe, pretty much, but I don't know. Kobe was just a good guy, man. I don't know. Maybe like Steph Curry. I give him Steph. But then again, Steph Curry could only shoot threes. J.P. Morgan has every asset. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I think LeBron James. I think J.P. Morgan is very LeBron James, and then people like to hate Jamie Dimon like they hate LeBron. I would say LeBron James comparison is better. It's not Kobe. Kobe is like Apple, maybe. I don't know, and they don't pass the ball. I don't know, but then again, I don't know. Kobe is just Kobe, man. Let's see. JP Morgan, like Messi. Where's Messi, Habibi? Where's Messi? Oil pop again? Didn't it just drop a little? It's back 72.60. I got out at 72.40. So not bad. I literally just hit there again. But then again, that was a good profit on the day. And right below the 73. Cigna, news that they're selling off their Medicare unit, but looks like everyone took that one more negatively than not. Well, we're up 35% on JP Morgan. Not bad, though. And then here's the crazy part, though. I don't know what they yield. Yeah, look at you see how JP Morgan yields 2.4 based on the price that we have it. We're getting paid 4% on all of our shares for the rest of time unless we buy more or change that up. So remember, we bought JP Morgan when it was yielding 4%. Now it's yielding 2.3 at this price. So again, we get our drip based on what we have. We're getting 4% back of our initial investment, on every year. And then again, now it's at this price, it's 2%. But since we bought it lower, 30-40% lower, we're yielding way more on the dividend. So that's why I like the JP Morgan for our portfolio. We bought it when it was yielding 4%, which again may not seem like a lot, but now think about it. If rates do get cut and all of that, 4% is a pretty good one that we could hold for a while, and it's almost 10% of our portfolio, 7.2. Yeah, oil's all over the place. Honestly, that little pop here didn't materialize. Future's already coming down. Up 50 on shares. Oof. You probably added big on the lows. We made a good average down at 116, but we had other shares at like 130. So ours is a little lower, but that's fire. You're probably yielding even more. What does that work when you buy 30% below it double divvy? Well, you just get your dividend at the yield price, right? Like it's yield at cost. That's what it's called. So like you're getting, if the stock is yielding 5% at $100 a share, right? You buy it at that price, you're going to be getting 5% of your initial investment back. So if the stock price shoots up, you're still getting the same amount of dividend per share, but you just spent less on the shares. That's all. So the dividend doesn't change. We just get the same dividend, but we spent less money on it. Does that make sense? So we paid for like JP Morgan, we paid like what, 120 I think average for the same $1.18 per share or dollar a quarter dividend. So as long as the stock, I'm not buying any more there, I'm reinvesting my dividends, but at the same time, to get that same dollar per share of JP Morgan now, you have to spend 30-40% more. So that's the kicker with all of it. My average on MPW is like $7 or $8. I'm down 40% on that one. So that's our high growth financial position that's doing bad. But if that recovers, we'll be good. And meanwhile, I'm hoping it does a UWMC. We reinvest all those dividends and then it does its thing. But that one's awful. My average 831. Ugh. Again, I still like it though, but I should have made another average down, but I went with Baba instead. Bought the 3-year low. JP Morgan, we're done with JP Morgan. We're just going to ride that out there. Again, we got a pretty decent size. Let that one do its thing, and then it'll be good to go. Ohio governor pushes lawmakers to allow marijuana sales very quickly and ban intoxicating hemp products. Think we need to have a sense of urgency about this? Huh? So he wants to sell weed fast and then ban hemp? I'm confused. Oh, JP Morgan, I did make a play on it, though. I'm tripping. I did make an earnings play for both ways. We'll go over it on the watch list if you missed it, but if you have followed along, watch the watch list, you were even here at the end of last year and saw the earnings plays that we did. It's 2 standard deviation criteria, and I went both ways. I made sure I got an extra week beyond the earnings of time. SPY puts added. Bond's still holding up. SPY's just been holding here for a while. We got Euro close in 3 minutes. Usually we kind of make a move prior to Euro close. You got it, I guess, an hour earlier, 30 minutes earlier. Did weed even react to that, MSOS? I don't think so. Hemp products with low level of THC aren't regulated by anyone and completely legal in 50 states. I know hemp was all legal. I didn't know hemp had THC in it, like the stuff they sell, or that it wasn't regulated. We went with City instead for earnings. Not bad. There's a lot of value there. As long as you use the criteria is showing good prices, you could go for it. But again, we just hit a lot of them. Just keep the amount small. That's at least in my mindset. We hit a very nice earn. And again, think about it. We're putting $100 down and walking away with $2,000, $100 walking away with $1,000. Like, if we keep it small, like even if you miss a couple, it's not going to dent your portfolio. So I'm just keeping them small. That's my thing. I'm trying to get best bang for the buck using the criteria and go from there. So again, even on the JP Morgan earnings play, $150 both ways. I'm down. Even if we lose on it, it shouldn't hurt our option profits from the last couple of plays. Walgreens is going to be a wild card. But if they do good, they got a lot of. They have to do really good to capture more upside after running 20%. But then if they do bad, they might get back to the gulag. Delta 8 and K2 are both sketchy legal stuff. Yeah, I remember back in the day, I had a friend. He went to jail, and then he got out of jail, and then he was on probation, and this motherfucker was just smoking all of the weird fake weeds at the smoke shops, bro. And I tried it, and I was like, never again, bro. That shit's weird. It's not even like weed. It's just like smoking chemicals, bro. I don't even. Yeah, spice. Yeah, spice. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. That shit was weird, man. Nah, like that's just, yeah, spice. Nah, bro. Dude, didn't it like mess out people? Did he turn out okay? Oh no, not at all. No, not at all. Like, if anything, no, it did not. I don't think he has a positive review or that. I was like, I think I was like 17 years old or something, or 18, not even. No, I think I was 16 or 17. Yeah, he went to jail early. He was a little trouble child. But yeah, nah, man, it was not. No, not the move, man. Not the move. I was old. I was young now. I was young then. I'm old now. So a long time ago. And I got a long term, and I still ended up okay. So that's why y'all should just put down the drugs and get a long term. Call it a day. Call it a day. You had some kid in boot camp smoke and sell spice, shut down the entire company, and raided everyone's lockers. Oh, wow. The synth weed didn't kill him. No, but I think it like made him go a little cuckoo. But other than that, nah, it didn't. And then he moved on to other hard drugs. Like I don't think it wasn't that insane. But no, I remember I did it a couple times with him, and it was just weird. I did not feel good, and it was like it was not. Again, this was a long time ago. Like I don't even, like this was before Facebook went public. So to give you an idea. Mini gold futures. Ooh, MG. How much does that move? I could be down with a mini gold. I'm gonna wait though. We hit fat on gold, so I want to push it, but I don't want to push it. If that makes sense. Anything to know before the minutes? Well, we're just going to control F and look into rate cuts, and then really you just need to understand the backdrop of the minutes. So you want to look into anything that could give you a clue towards why the dot plot came out how it did and the dispersion between all of the members. Again, what they say even about maybe clues towards the economy, slowing jobs, but more so it's all in the context, the lens of that dot plot last time. So it's all going to be old info. That's going to be why I'm not thinking it's going to do too much. But then again, last FOMC was gigantic. Cigna, another low. And then MPW, I don't want to average down because I think there's other like way better high quality names that are lower. And I would have averaged down if management was a little bit more, was a little less shady. That's all. I don't like the last couple of earnings. Not only did they cut the dividend, not fully, but they lowered the dividend. And then again, management they're like 30. It's like a quarter delayed on the report, and then they're doing stuff with like non-cash payments and all of this stuff, which I just don't think is too above board. And the way I look at it is that I think their assets are the real value of all of it. But then again, management is the only risk for that company right there. So if I trusted management more, I would. If the price goes a little lower though, and it gets real cheap ahead of earnings, that's it. But we do have to start seeing a good earnings. If they have a good earnings, that shit's gonna take off. But then again, like at that point, we'll get back to break even. I would assume. So I might as well just wait for the earnings, see if they keep doing shady shit or not. But in the meantime, I picked up Pfizer and BABA, and then Altria, so I got to increase yield. And, actually all of those pay a dividend, so not too bad. The minutes is going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern in about 2 hours and 30 minutes. Have I heard anything on the street about Riley? That's not O'Reilly Auto Parts, is it? B. Riley? No, I haven't. It sounds familiar, though, but I'm not recalling anything off the top of my head. Powell does not talk after the dot plot, no. Looks like it's going to zero, like SIVB. Did they drop after the rate cuts thing? They have not even moved. Honestly, they look ugly. And remember IBKR, though? That shit was weird on the day after the Fed. But B. Riley looks a little bit worse. Vinda and then SPY's chilling, man. We're post-Euro close and nothing has happened. Are y'all witnessing this? Look at this. Pre-Euro close pop. We have not done anything. Just holding 47.13. My goodness. And on that note, Chatadonia, you know what you should do at Euro close? Push-ups. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're live Monday through Friday, 30 minutes before open. Drop your thumbs up on the video. Make sure you're subscribed. You're on mobile. Press hot chat. X out the chat. Hit the thumbs up button. Second link for the Nightly Watch List main channel. First link for the Scream Alerts Bootcamp and real estate costs. But ladies and gentlemen, we've been here for 2.5 hours. We got 4.5 hours left to go. Sitting is the new smoking. I need you to get beside your desk and do 10 push-ups. Can't do 10, you do 5. Can't do 5, you do 4. Can't do 4, you do 2. Can't do 2, you do 1. Can't do 1, get on your knees, do a push-up plank, the worm. anything but get the body moving. Then optometrist recommendation: stare at an object 10, 20, 30 feet away, blink a few times, relax those pretty little eyeballs, go blink, 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 blink. Blink, 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 blink. Oh, it feels good. Feels amazing, actually. Relax those eyeballs. And chest to the sun. Flex the core. Tuck the hips in. Legs in front of you, not wrapped behind your computer chair. You're not riding a dolphin. And I need you to listen to me right now, okay? Why are your shoulders scrunched up, bro? It's a new year right now. I need you relaxed, okay? Your shoulders, man, no one's fighting you. No one's going after you, man. That's it. Barrick said to sound out First Quantum holders on possible bid. Barrick CEO approached First Quantum to gauge support.